SMG4 has recently released another episode of the Karen arc titled You Shouldn't Have Done That, and I've been thinking, could we just predict this entire arc? I mean, this episode has already given away most of the uncovered plot points of the arc, the main one being how the father of Karen's kid is likely the man behind Hitman Inc., using his power as an opportunity to play Minecraft with his parted kids. So because we basically already know what's going behind Hitman Inc., why not just predict this entire arc? I'm your host, Bigario, let's get to it. So I'm not even going to waste your time here and get straight to the prediction. So in short, I believe that when Mr. Weapons said to the kids that he had another game they could play, he was actually tricking the kids into using guns in real life, making them think it's just a game. Now here's why I think that. When Karen barged into the room where she found Mario, the kids of course weren't there. This could mean one of three things. 1. Mr. Weapons took the kids into another gaming room to hide from Karen. 2. Mr. Weapons took the kids into some simulation where he could play with the kids forever. Or 3. He took the kids to go get a hold of real life guns. Now the reason why I think it's option number 3 is because option number 1 wouldn't really make a good plot, and option number 2 would make an unoriginal storyline, mainly because Western Spaghetti already exists. And judging by how Mr. Weapons seems to have a strong liking towards guns, this is why I think Mr. Weapons did in fact take the kids to go use guns. And yes, I know this prediction sounds a little insane at first, but knowing that Karen did describe her husband as reckless and chaotic, as well as Mr. Weapons quite possibly being in charge of Hitman Inc., this actually starts to make quite a lot of sense. So great, now we know exactly what's going to happen in the rest of the Karen arc, but we have yet to figure out how it's going to happen, and how my prediction will play out in the episodes which are yet to come. To do that, we firstly need to establish that the Karen arc can continue onwards in either two ways. Either a straight consecutive line of 3 to 5 episodes, much like how traditional arcs like the Waluigi arc did it, or only 1 to 2 episodes followed by a movie as a finale. Now, though I personally agree that option 1 would be a better writing decision, judging by how SMG4 is nowadays, we're going to get a movie. So here's how I think the rest of the Karen arc will play out. I believe that we will firstly receive an episode which directly builds up to that movie before the release of the movie. In this episode, Karen will use Mario to track down where her kids went so she can find her way through the maze-like facility of Hitman Inc. in order to locate her kids. Meanwhile, while Mr. Weapons is in the middle of training his kids with guns, he will find out about Karen's breach of the facility. In response to this, he will come up with some sort of plan that would somehow lead Karen into a trap. The episode ends itself at a cliffhanger when Karen has fallen for the trap, about to meet Mr. Weapons and her mentally changed children, leading on to the movie. If I were to name this episode, I would call it Karen vs. Hitman Inc. But anywho, let's now predict the movie. The movie starts off with Karen realizing what Mr. Weapons has done to her kids while acting completely furious. Although she tries to convince her kids that the father is wrong, her kids refuse to listen. The movie then brings up the pace when Mr. Weapons decides to punish Karen by placing her in a set of situations which she hates. After several scenes, Karen then suddenly breaks her way out of the trap and uses brute force as a revenge against Mr. Weapons. This quickly turns into a deadly fight, including gun warfare between Karen and Mr. Weapons. However, Karen starts to lose hope during the fight when she sees that she's fighting against her own kids. So instead of sticking to the plan, she says some heartwarming speech, the problem is resolved, and the movie ends. Man, was that one insane prediction, and the likelihood of that being true is extremely unlikely. But obviously, I wouldn't be able to predict each and every story beat of this arc one after another. So overall, I just hope that my prediction about Mr. Weapons teaching his kids about guns is correct. And if my movie prediction does end up being true, that would be absolutely insane. Also, Editor Magoya here. While I was editing this video, SMG4 decided to release this post, and it doesn't really give us much other than the fact that Karen seems to be accessing her storeroom of guns, which may be used in the next episode where Karen potentially could decide to take down Hitman Inc. and also Mr. Weapons. So, ladies and gentlemen, synchronize your death watches for Saturday 12 PM Eastern Time and watch this prediction completely crumble to pieces the moment the next SMG4 episode is released. Anyways, please subscribe.